public support, they actually lose support at home and abroad. It is becoming politically costly for the United States to continue because it's losing support, not just in the United States, but also from other countries. Next, the Prime Minister mentioned terrorism is simple. That's false. It is more complicated than it seems. Why? It's because the Prime Minister failed to take into account geopolitical considerations that cannot be won by military effort alone. For example, when you talk about the vast expanse territory that ISIS covers, you talk about Iraq, the Levant region, some areas, what we call this, some areas in Syria, and then if you try to look how porous, how porous the border is and how the forces are able to pass through this, this volatile region from one country to another, involving different communities, different customs. Even though they are Muslims there, still we have different Muslim or Islamic practices. They fail to understand that. First of all, they did not really consider Iran. Iran is a major stakeholder. Why? As already stated by our leader in the opposition, remember that the primary targets of ISIS are Shiites. So therefore, Iran is a major stakeholder here. Iran is a Shiite country. ISIS has already announced that Iran is a sworn enemy of ISIS because it is the capital of Shiite Islam. Next, they did not consider us socio-cultural dysfunctions that result from purely military capabilities. First of all, when you talk about war, okay, focusing on military capabilities alone, we talk about countless lives, countless infrastructures, countless economic damages that will result from this kind of endeavor. Next, another point that I would like to raise. The Prime Minister compared World War II and anti-ISIS war. That's totally irrelevant. Remember, the conditions in World War II are totally different. Why? Conditions are different. World War II was asymmetrical war. World War II was asymmetrical war. We have seen industrialized countries more or less on the same parity fighting each other. Anti-ISIS military effort is an asymmetric war. We have seen a particular terrorist organization that's able to blend with the communities, that is able to make use of innocent civilians as human shields. That is a totally irrelevant comparison. And from the Deputy Prime Minister, she mentioned that the coalition consists of Iraq, Morocco, Jordan, Kurdistan. Again, there are other major stakeholders. For example, you need to talk about other stakeholders in the region. Again, the Shiite Iran or the Hezbollah, because it is it is a Shiite organization funded that are also having a war with ISIS. It is complicated. Syria, which is headed by Bashar al-Assad, the Alawite sect, which is an option of Shiite Islam. It's too complicated that if you are only going to have a coalition consist of these countries, you are limiting the opportunities for a more long-term solution. Now, we would like to advance this argument first. Earlier, we mentioned that a transnational security problem like ISIS requires a multi-regional approach taken that will force Middle East stakeholders after my second argument. Take a more hands-on approach in terms of shaping and defining the strategies of containing, if not eliminating, ISIS. Now, the thing is, lack of responsible leadership role and deferring it on a non-Middle East country, in this case the United States, will only hamper the Middle East country to influence the international agenda on security-related matters. And we need to understand, Middle East is one of the most volatile, one of the most hotspot areas, and therefore that is relatively a big concern for for Middle East countries. Next, second argument, involving the United Nations directly into this matter, which has been forwarded earlier, will bring about a greater sense of legitimacy and acceptance, as opposed to a strategy largely dominated by the United States. Yes.
The prime target of the ISIS are the Jewish Muslims, Islam. So how do you answer this question? Why do ISIS calculated those journalists from the other nations?
Again, that's totally relevant. The question, it has already been forwarded in the earlier argument. It's not just about the Shiites. We have already extended their victims. We have named other victims, even the Sunnis themselves. Okay? Now, third argument, it has been observed that a homegrown strategy can better deal with security issues relating to religious extremism due to the country's inherent understanding of the situation. A very good example is Saudi Arabia. It was able to contain issues concerning religious extremism because it has its own understanding of the complexities that involves religious matters. And lastly, military solution is only a band-aid solution that only addresses the symptoms but not the root causes.